What's up, everybody? So on this top 5 under 5, this was a very light week in boxing, but we still got 5 topics to cover, and we're going to start with George Kambosos versus Maxie Hughes. And I think for all of us that watch the fight, we know Maxie Hughes got jobbed. Top Rank allowed George Kambosos to pretty much escape the escape room, the Top Rank escape room. So obviously the plan going forward, I think, is for George Kambosos to fight Vasyl Lomachenko or possibly Shakur Stevenson for a vacant belt. Shakur Stevenson sounded like on Twitter like he was interested in going another route, so we'll still have to see on that. But either way, let's focus on what happened. And Maxie Hughes' IBO title is now gone. George Kambosos has it around his waist, and it shouldn't be. He was clearly outboxed. Round by round, I don't see how one judge gave George Kambosos 9 rounds. How can you give him 9 rounds? But that's why I'm a fan of open scoring. I am becoming more of a fan of open scoring the more this happens, because if Maxie Hughes was realizing that he was losing these rounds, he could have tried to do something to change it up. Because like most of us that were watching the fight, we thought he was winning the rounds. So how would he be losing these rounds? But at least he would have that knowledge and be able to adjust. So George Kambosos is going to go on. Maxie Hughes, he has a long road back, but I think in the eyes of the fans, he won tonight. So I do think he'll get another opportunity. It's just a shame because he shouldn't have that loss on his record. His win streak ends, wrongfully so, but that's boxing, man. That's boxing. George Kambosos goes on. And I wish him well. This is not a George Kambosos slander type video. This is just calling it like I saw it and calling it like a lot of people saw it. And that was Maxie Hughes should have been the victor. Should have had his hand raised, but he didn't. On goes George Kambosos to the next opponent, and we'll see what happens next. And we'll see what happens with Maxie Hughes, who put on a great boxing performance. He's obviously the better boxer between him and George Kambosos, and it showed clearly. Kambosos still has problems with pure boxers, and I think he's going to continue to. I don't think we'll just leave it there. Congrats, George Kambosos. Number 2, so Keyshawn Davis was on cruise control, y'all. Cruise control against Francisco Patera. This is Patera's first fight in the United States. I think it was his first fight out of the country, but I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me. But either way, it was his first fight in the United States. And he came to fight. That's one thing I love about some of these opponents I've been watching. Everybody's coming to win, you know, especially when they're on a big card or a card that they assume is big, because that card was not a big card. But my issue is with Keyshawn Davis. Maybe I shouldn't say issue, y'all. But my thing with Keyshawn Davis is I really wanted him, and it's not about him doing what I want him to do, but it's just something that I was expecting him to do based on what I was seeing. It felt like he can do whatever he wanted to with Patera. Even though Patera was tough, Patera was game, and we saw Keyshawn Davis drop him with a beautiful display of defense to offense. But I think that was in the 9th round. But I really wanted Keyshawn to step on the gas a little early. It felt like he could really put some pressure on him, but he was having fun. You know, and there's something to say about that balance. You know, as long as the fighter's having fun, he's doing his things, enjoying himself. But you also, it's an entertainment value. You want to be entertained, you know. And even though Keyshawn was having fun, I don't think in those earlier rounds it was very entertaining. But Patera came to fight. Keyshawn Davis did his thing. It was easy work for him, you know. And we'll see where Patera goes next. But most importantly, we're focused on Keyshawn Davis, and we'll see what he does next. Another thing with Keyshawn Davis, you know, from what I've seen, he said that he would bully Andy Cruz. I didn't see anything where he would bully Andy Cruz, but we don't know exactly what Davis wanted to work on in this fight. He did what he needed to do. He said Patera was the perfect opponent for him at this point in his career. He said Top Rank is matchmaking him perfectly. So he's happy. It is what it is. We'll see where he steps up to next, because he does need to step up. I think he's on fight 9 now, so he'll be going to fight 10. We'll see where we go. And I don't think Andy Cruz is that far behind him. He might beat him to a title. I'll have to see what happens. That's the politics at play, but I don't want to talk about that. But let's go on and move on to the next. So number 3, Rolly Romero and Ohio Davies. Apparently we're going to have a purse bid for the WBA strap, and it was postponed, and partly due to Romero claiming to have an injury. Of course, Lee Eaton and Ohio Davies took exception to that. They believe he's trying to get out of the fight. We all know Ryan Garcia's, he's continuously talking about wanting to take on Rolly Romero. So it's like, are they trying to work that in the background? Ohio Davies is refusing to take step aside. He's not taking step aside, and I don't blame him. It's time for his opportunity. So if Romero wants to fight Ryan Garcia, fight him. Just drop the belt. Drop the belt. Because people will still want to watch that fight anyway. You know, that's not the most exciting fight to me, but there's still plenty of people that will watch that fight, and they don't need a belt hanging over it to make it worth anything. So whatever Romero's planning, I don't know. I hope it's a legit injury. I hate how we have all these like controversies that come up around boxing. You know, whether it's a fake injury, supposedly fake injury, whether it's somebody maybe blaming their trainer for something and the trainer saying, no, I didn't do anything, whether it's the judging being suspect all the dang time. It's not all the time. There's so many boxing matches, but man, you just get tired of seeing it because anytime you see it, it magnifies it more than the many times you get good results. You guys know how it is, but either way, I just hope they resolve it. I want O'Hara Davies to get his shot against Romero. And if not, drop the freaking belt. Go fight Ryan Garcia and go do your thing because you're about dollars. You talk about being on pay-per-view. Romero talks about being on pay-per-view. Go be on pay-per-view with Ryan Garcia. Let Davies get his title shot. Everybody's happy. I think that'll work out. Number 4, Sulem Urbina is back on the winning side of the tracks. She defeated an opponent that she obviously should have been. It was a tough scrap, though. It was a tough scrap. Sulem Urbina, I've always liked her as a fighter. I thought she should have beat Fujioka when they fought. It was very close fight. Could have went either way, but they did side with the champion. And I like, she's a very fan-friendly fighter. That's what I like about Urbina. She's a fan-friendly fighter, so that's why I enjoy watching her fight. And I just hope she can get on a little win streak here and maybe even slip into some title contention. Because as we know on the women's side, it doesn't take much. And you're right there in title contention. So I expect that maybe a couple more fights and she's going to get another shot. Just depends on the opportunities. But congrats to Sulem Urbina, back on the winning side of the track, and I wish her well going forward. Number 5, Overtime Boxing announces their fight schedule that they have coming up. Starting August 4th, it's going to be on DAZN in case you guys didn't know. So they got August 4th, the 11th, the 18th, the 25th. So those are going to be the 4 fight nights, and they already have pretty much their schedule laid out. I think you got Elijah Pierce going to be starting it out. You know, he reminds me of Emmanuel Augustus. You know, and I got to see if I can find the video. If I find a video, I'll put it up. But just the way he was moving, you know, it reminded me of Emmanuel Augustus. Now, I don't know if he's going to fight like that was sparring, so he probably won't fight that. We'll see how he fights in the ring. But that's what it reminded me of, little junior Emmanuel Augustus. So either way, you got August 4th, you got Elijah Pierce, who I definitely want to check him out. And then you got August 11th, and then you got August 18th. August 25th is Truck Simpson. I think Kurt Scobie's on the 18th. But either way, it's a good schedule. You're going to be able to see some of the best prospects that you have in boxing. You're going to be able to watch it. It's on a platform that's big enough and people follow. Millions of people are on DAZN, whether you like to think so or not. So go check it out, y'all. Go check it out starting August 4th with Elijah Pierce. Oh, and also O'Shea. O'Shea's on there too. O'Shea Jones, the bronze medalist from the previous Olympics. So definitely go check it out. As a bonus, because this was a light week in boxing, I just want to say Spence Crawford is here, y'all. Next week, Spence Crawford, buy the pay-per-view. Support the fighters, y'all. Support the fighters. You know? So I can't wait for the fight. I'm going to be buying it legally. Going to be checking it out, and I can't wait. I can't wait for everything about it. I'm excited. Finally, a huge fight that we get to digest. So even though it's a top 5 under 5, next week might be a special edition top 5 under 5. It might be Spence Crawford for the entire 5 minutes. The entire 5 minutes, and I usually go over, but I'm gonna get there. But that's all for this week's top 5 under 5. Thank you guys for listening. Or I said listening. Thank you guys for watching and listening. I'll catch y'all on the next one.